Hello, and welcome to this very special episode of the Sausage Factory. We are here tonight on this most auspicious occasion to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the release of one of horror film's most classic movies, one of its most revered, most influential, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm your moderator, Pizzal, and with me tonight I have got a man who's actually toured the shooting locations for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. B. Jr., what's going on, man?
Yo, my brethren, the secret is in the meat.
Also with me tonight I've got B. Movie Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I've got James, DVD Collector 1974. What's cracking?
Hey, I'm ready to watch Franklin piss on himself in HD.
Oh, man. That piss looks so clear and crisp in HD, man.
Sally, wait a minute, Sally.
Also with me tonight is Jay the Stingray. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? You ready to get this started?
Oh, man. What kind of coffee you got there?
This is a mixture. Got all kinds of stuff in here.
Oh, man. Do we even want to know what's in there? You got some...
There's some stuff in there. It's called Da Bomb. It's double caffeinated.
Whoa.
Whoa.
They should just call it Early Grave.
Yeah. Call it Raging Heart Attack.
I like to make my coffee with Red Bull instead of water.
Now that's coffee right there. Also with me tonight is Orc. What's going on, Orc?
What's up, players? Got my Dr. Pepper 10 watching the calories so I can knock on them hoes.
Oh, Lord. Busting out the moves.
Oh, man.
I'm happy to be here. How's it going?
Oh. Orc. I tell you what. You never cease to amaze. Never cease to amaze.
Macking on
Or
but
impressed.
Oh, man. But like we've done with all of our previous live commentaries, if you want to watch the movie along with us, we've got our version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think most of us are watching the brand new Blu-ray 40th Anniversary Edition. We've got it queued up at 0.00 at the very beginning before there's anything on the screen. It's just a black screen. So if you guys want to queue up your own copy of the film and watch along with us, make sure to live tweet with us at TSF Nation. The live chat is open on the website, thesausagefactoryshow.com. Leave questions or comments in the comment section of the video, and we'll be monitoring everything tonight. And while you guys are queuing up your own, I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of announcements. This episode of The Sausage Factory is brought to you guys by Phoenix FearCon 6. Phoenix FearCon is Arizona's largest horror convention and film festival for 6 years running. It all goes down November 1st and 2nd. Head over to phoenixfearcon.com, link in the description. Discount tickets are available now, phoenixfearcon.com. Also want to give a special shout out to the good people over at Horror Block. Horror Block has given us some discount codes to give away to new subscribers, offering them 10% off of a new subscription to Horror Block monthly services. If you don't know what Horror Block is, it is a monthly subscription service. Every month you will receive a mystery box of horror goodies, much like this, in the mail, full of awesome horror goodies, shirts, collectibles, Rue Morgue magazine, all kinds of great stuff. Follow the link in the description, use the promo code also in the description, and get 10% off your subscription to Horror Block. Also, just want to say before, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the passing of Marilyn Burns before we started our live commentary, and show her some respect. Marilyn Burns, of course, who played Sally in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. She passed away a couple of months ago, and definitely rest in peace to Marilyn Burns. She was one of the original Scream Queens, and she will be sorely missed. So,
Anybody met her? B. Junior, you guys met her?
Actually,
I never had the opportunity. I would have loved to, but I never had the opportunity.
No, I never met her, but I did some fan mail and got an autograph back from her in the mail, and she wrote a little quick note, and I've got it in a notebook up in the closet. That's
Cool.
about all I've got.
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
But seriously,
cool.
she is, props goes to Marilyn Burns, may she rest in peace. She is definitely one of the unsung heroes of Scream Queendom.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, she will definitely be missed.
Rest in peace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So why don't we go ahead? We've got some people watching with us tonight. Lenore and Claire is going to be watching with us tonight as we watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre live. So hope you guys are all ready. We're going to do the countdown. We're going to get this party started. Again, live tweet with us throughout the film at TSF Nation. The live chat over on the SausageFactoryShow.com is open. Go over there, join us, or post questions or comments in the comment section of the video. We'll get around to monitoring that during the broadcast. So, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, press play.
Yeah.
I got a knife.
Beautiful.
It's a good knife.
A film by Toby Hooper, brought to you by the mob.
Check mark. Do not go to McDonald's with the movie Mike next week. No, it's good.
The trivia here, Orc. Who is this person doing the voiceover on the opening scroll? Who is it?
Oh, the Phil's strong with this one. Oh man. Shit.
We all know this, right?
Very
I don't know.
Ungozu. Very Ungozu,
Don't
Orc.
know.
Oh, Orc. Come on, man.
John LaRoquette from Night Court.
I heard you say John Landis. I was like, no way, dude.
More importantly, what did he receive as payment for doing this?
Weed.
It's a sack of white powder.
I knew it.
A dead armadillo.
Probably a lot of booze and weed.
You got to hang out with Franklin.
That's
It was
payment
Franklin's,
enough.
Franklin's personal liaison.
Yeah.
Hey, John. Hey, John.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You do a great job.
You do a good. You do a good.
That's
Franklin.
obviously practiced.
Yeah.
His wife's heard that a lot over the years.
Oh yeah. His wife is like, I'm married more to Franklin than I am Barry.
My name's not Sally.
Hold my coffee can. Hold my coffee can.
Oh, my coffee can. I got a piece, Sally. Hold my coffee can.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh my God.
We could have done audio commentary with Franklin.
We could have. even though he's been dead for years, we've got Paul Partain here with us tonight. Hi guys.
We need a special edition wheelchair in here. Yeah. Isn't awesome?
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
Oh, here
But
we go.
And right now we're on the
Beautiful.
corpse, and
It's awesome.
I've seen this movie countless times. But the first time I saw it in HD on this Blu-ray, I was like, "Oh my God, that thing is dripping!" It's like dripping slime.
Yeah.
I'd never noticed that before.
Hey, I gotta say before we get too deep into it, this new 4K restoration, man, it like brings it all together. I don't know about you guys, but I really like this new Blu-ray.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
I do too. It's beautiful, beautiful. It's kind of almost cliche to say, like when you watch a movie in HD, it's like watching it for the first time. And even though, like I said, I've seen this a million times, there were just little details, little things like the slime there dripping off the corpse. It was like, oh my God, I'm watching this again for the first time.
What I like about
Even
it
the
is
lens,
it still retains some of that grain. It still looks grainy,
Yeah.
but it's very clear. It's a perfect balance.
Yeah.
even the lens flares are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Sky does a great job with their stuff.
Yeah,
How
they
much
did
did
an
they pay
excellent,
this stunt
excellent job.
double to sit on that tombstone like that?
What kind of painful?
A lot of money. He was very a
That
lot of
sucked.
weed. A lot of weed.
That was their currency on this film, apparently.
Apparently so.
Yeah,
What was the
When
budget?
everyone was-
What was the budget? 10 ounces of weed. That was the
10
budget.
pounds. 10 pounds.
10 pounds. Yes, yes.
10 pounds.
How much were you paid to participate as Leatherface, Gunnar Hansen? $60 bag.
Yeah.
And lots of cheeseburgers.
Bag of weed and all you can eat buffet.
And coffee. Black.
I've actually got a funny Gunnar Hansen weed story that Ed Neal told me at Mad Monster Party this year that I'll save for a little bit later.
What was the first time that you guys saw this movie?
Oh, shit.
It was before I was a teenager. Maybe 11 or 12 years old.
I saw it back in the 80s on VHS.
This was the only movie that my mother would not let me watch. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, they were all fine. She would not let me rent Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So it wasn't until I was in high school until I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But I remember the VHS I rented. It was the media, old school VHS of the movie. It was so grainy and ripped, tore up, and it'd been watched and rewound a billion times. So, I mean, it looked so rough, which was just perfect.
Yeah.
And it was a spiritual event for me. I mean, I'd seen so many slasher movies, and then to see this movie was just like it was a revelation.
They're great elementary school blockbuster players. Yeah.
Here we go.
The only problem I had with this movie was that it was so hyped. It was on so many lists of the ultimately, most grisly movie ever made. It was the worst of the worst. It was the video nasty of video nasties. And by the time I saw it, I had seen, Gates of Hell and all these other films. And I watched it and I thought, well, what the fuck? It's tame. Where's all the gore?
Yeah.
Where's the body parts flying? And I didn't get it. I didn't understand why it was so hated. I mean, I thought it was good, but I thought it was kind of actually lacking in the violence department.
I think what they were talking about is this scene here of Franklin peeing in a coffee can in all this country.
He cracks me up.
Oh,
I love how the
This is
wind
so
from the
funny.
semi sends him flying.
This poor dope. Look at this guy.
Woo!
He throws the can up in the air, piss raining down on everybody.
He's pissing as he's falling too.
And his fly's open too, man. His fly's open.
Poor bastard. Poor bastard.
Poor dope.
The 4K.
Well, at least Franklin Jr. wasn't hanging out.
Thank God.
You know that fucking Baby Ruth is melted like a motherfucker in his mouth. You know it's fucking hot.
Look at Franklin.
It's just
rocking
chocolate
that Magnum-
milk.
He's rocking
I never
that
realized
Magnum chest there, man. Look at that.
I never realized the dad from the Brady Bunch was in this.
But Barry, you made a good point. You made a good point. Or I'm sorry, Mike. You made a good point about the movie's reputation. Even today, I mean, I know people who refuse to watch this movie just based on its reputation. Even though I tell them it's for the most part a bloodless, goreless movie. It's all like subconscious.
It's also edited so well that you imagine seeing what happened instead of it's not actually there.
But I
The
will say
camera
with
work
this new,
where. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, with this new 4K scan, you can really see a lot more. So there is a little more blood, especially in Franklin's death, that you didn't see before because it was so dark.
Yeah.
And,
I love how the
like
camera,
Jim
all the
was
camera
saying,
shots, where
Go ahead, Jim.
all the stuff's some of it's out of focus, shaky, all that stuff. It keeps you on the edge, so you're constantly worried. Trying to focus on the movie itself, and then I think that brings an extra horror element to it, especially since it's, like you said, practically goreless.
But I do think the new scan also helped me appreciate the cinematography a little bit more because you could see more of the shots. You could see the pattern and what they were going for in the artistic approach.
Well, and this movie is definitely it's very stylish. It's very well shot. I mean, it was incredibly low budget. They were all kind of amateurs doing it, but you know, some of the shots and like the use of like the the dollying shots and all that. I mean, it was really they were doing a lot with a little, because the movie looks beautiful. I mean, the part where Terry McMahon walks toward the house and the camera goes under the swing and the house just like blows up around her. I mean, that's a beautiful shot.
That shot's been copied a million times since too.
Oh yes, just about everything in this movie has been copied a million times.
Wasn't there something in the behind the scenes where they said they only had like 8 feet of dolly track and they kept just using it over and over and over again? They had to keep picking it up, moving it.
And I guess was it Daniel Pearl's was a cinematographer, and he came up with that shot and told Toby about it, and then everybody else was against it, and they had to really fight for it.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I think
That was the money shot of the movie. Really,
it's such an unsettling shot because it's so so atypical.
Oh,
well, and the first time.
Sorry.
I mean, the first time we see Leatherface, dude, that's such an iconic shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's so well done too.
Oh, he's doing the air gun impression here.
Oh, the air gun.
Boom, choo, boom, choo.
Boom, boom.
I fucking hate this.
Where was Franklin's? Where was Paul Partain's Oscar for this? I mean, really?
Was he acting,
God.
or he just show up?
I think he just showed up.
Here, act normal. Shoot.
They found him at McDonald's the morning of starting and said, "Hey, you want to be in a movie?"
Like, we're gonna put you in a
look like a
van with
dipshit.
some hot chicks. You look like a dipshit. We're gonna put you in a van with some hot chicks. You want to be in a movie? He was like, hell yeah.
I'm probably not the only one, but Ed Neal, when I was a kid, I saw this first time when I was 10 years old. I thought this guy was genuinely crazy. The first time I saw this movie. I thought they
Ed
paid
Neal-
some poor guy that had mental problems to play this part.
Ed Neal is genuinely crazy if you've ever met him. He is
Not
genuinely
yet.
crazy. Crazy may not be the best word. He's very animated. When he tells you a story, he acts out every character in the story with like a different voice. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's every character in a Rob Zombie movie right there.
I think this is the only movie Rob Zombie's ever actually watched.
He'd probably deny it now, though.
Probably would, yeah. He'd probably prefer the remake.
Look
I
at
just
that
didn't
birthmark.
understand the original one. I mean, it's just I just didn't get it. I didn't understand it.
So very not cool, man.
That birthmark right there's got Gorbachev going, damn, look at that birthmark.
That's not a birthmark. That's a birth freaking stamp.
Look it up, kids. Look up Gorbachev.
That's way back.
We kind of talked over the beginning of the film that really eerie sound that the hitchhiker's camera makes, the flash on it, meow, meow. That's really what a way to start the movie with that really just eerie sound.
I watched the new commentary with Toby Hooper, and he actually explained how he made that sound.
Did he?
Yeah.
I
First time I ever heard it.
I only got through about half of it. He must have. Did he tell it toward the end? I don't remember him talking it.
Yeah, towards the end. He was kind of saving that story.
How did he do it?
It was basically a tuning fork.
Oh.
He put it up to a string and basically played it like a violin.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about you guys, but I want some head cheese right now.
Oh man,
I'm hungry.
I'd love a good ripe loaf of head cheese right now.
Have you ever tried it?
No.
It looks abominable. It looks abominable.
Oh, Jesus. Look at this guy.
He just appreciates a good knife. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Anybody that's ever watched this movie would never pick up a hitchhiker.
Oh.
This is why that died out.
Yeah. Cautionary tale.
Damn.
I love the music in the background.
Yeah, I know. The music in the background just is like, you'll just walk away singing that song for the rest of the night.
Franklin's reactions too are just good. I can't put it in words.
I'm afraid to turn it up too loud. I don't want it to bleed into the mic.
Yeah, I've got mine
So I can
kind of
barely
turned down
hear
a
it.
little bit.
Yeah, I got mine way down.
Sounds good on mine.
Hey, Laneri, Claire asked us a question. How many of us have read The Chainsaw Confidential?
No,
Oh.
I haven't.
I have not.
I have not either.
I've seen pretty much every documentary that I know of on the making of the film, though.
Does anybody know what the critter is around his neck? Is that like a badger or something? I've always wondered that.
Fox, I believe.
The fox.
Yeah, it does look like
Yeah,
a
it looks
fox.
like a fox. What was the makeup? What was the effects guy's name on this movie? I can't think of it, but he did an excellent job with all that stuff. Gosh, what was it? I can't remember. He also did The Howling. He did a bunch of other stuff, but he did an excellent job on this movie.
Not Rick Baker.
No, not Rick Baker.
There's some really great artistic set design in this movie too that really sets the mood.
Oh yeah,
When
absolutely.
you get to the house, it's just like amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And also on the commentary, if you've listened to the new commentary, Toby Hooper says that this entire thing they shot it while driving. Like you can't really tell, but they're moving the whole time that they're shooting this sequence.
It was supposedly kind of a hell of a shoot too, because it was really hot. It was like 100 and some degrees that day, and they're all packed inside the van with camera equipment. And there's Hooper in the corner with a cameraman, and they're just trying.
Oh yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Because
What
every time they
smells
cut,
like.
that's a new camera position.
Mm-hmm. I would pay him the $2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's worth $2.
I'd give him $5 just to get him the hell out of the van.
I'd want to get
I'd already have him shoved out the window.
As soon as he
I
cut
wanna
himself
take
with the knife, it'd be like, pull the fuck over, we're getting him out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't
Buddy,
got to
I'm sorry.
Throw him out this way.
You gotta stop. Like, buddy, you're either walking out of this van or you're flying out of it. Your choice.
I wanted to get a selfie after he lights the match, just with him. Just put it away.
Just watch Franklin the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. Wait for it. Wait for it.
No.
Poor Franklin.
If I have any more fun today, I don't know if I'm going to take it.
Poor Franklin.
Thanks, man.
I love
Poor
when he
Franklin.
sticks his tongue out.
They also talked on the
I did that.
commentary
I
about
did that when we
the.
stopped on the office the other day, didn't we?
They also talked on the commentary about the mark that he puts on the van if it had any kind of meaning or symbolism or anything.
Yeah.
And Toby basically said, "Oh, he was just marking the van so that when they made it to the cook would know."
Yes, the cook, one of my favorite characters.
Oh yes, yes.
The film's original budget was $60,000. During the editing process, the filmmakers assessed an additional $80,000 in costs. There you go.
Right up here, boys. Right in here.
Yeah.
Editing.
Editing. Gotta have some kind of fuel for those all-night editing sessions.
See, I like these little things that they added in, like the astrology and stuff. A lot of people
Yeah.
forget about that, but that kind of sets an eerie tone as well. It's in the background a little bit.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think this guy used to live next to me.
How did my dad get in this movie? Look. He's
Well,
doing
you know, this
some
was
stuff
kind of
like-
the end of the hippie era, and astrology was still planned their day around that stuff. We can't go anywhere because Mars is in retrograde, you know?
Yeah.
Retrograde.
He said out there and do some sun watching.
Golf.
Do they have a gas price when they drive up? I didn't notice.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I'm sure it's about 3 cents a gallon, probably.
I was
Sign on the door says
watching one of the Halloweens the other night, and it was maybe Halloween 2. No, 20 a gallon at a gas station.
I believe this was during one of the gas crises.
Yeah. That was one of the things that Toby inspired Toby was the gas crisis too. If you notice there on the side, and this is something that I don't know if I'd really noticed before too, but it says "We slaughter."
Yeah, that's something you don't notice in the previous incarnations because it was kind of hard to see.
Right, I
Yeah.
never noticed that on VHS or any of the other versions before.
And that's gross. We slaughter right next to barbecue.
Check it out, it's the cook. It's the cook. It's the cook.
GMC now, what a face! What a face on him.
What a beautiful man. What a beautiful man.
I know.
He was actually like a well-trained theater actor or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I guess he would be considered the name actor because every horror film had at least one name actor, so he would have been it for this one.
Yeah.
Right.
The window washer guy's
piece
awesome.
of trivia. Piece of
I love
trivia.
how
Or
he-
what was this? What was this movie originally titled?
Don't roll it up at once.
I know.
The original title, Orc. What was it?
Cheese 101 Gosu Gosu. Maybe? Close?
Orc. You are Orc. That's
Oh,
that's
look at
0
that.
for 2, man.
Man.
Leatherface.
Yep,
That's
Leatherface.
the original title.
No, that is the title of the third one. Damn.
Orgasm. R&R Horror Hunter, are you watching? That's Orgasm #1.
Dolly track.
And I'm cracking open my first High Life, boys. Celebrate.
Oh, Lord. You talked me into it.
Oh, God. Twist your arm, right?
Yeah, I'll be back.
It's a si-
Of course it is, dumbass.
Every time I
Catch
watch this
blood
movie,
on
I'm
their
thinking,
spray paint.
if I was Leatherface, if there was one person I could kill, it'd be Franklin. Every time I watch.
All right. Pop a little yingling in respects to TCM.
Ah, some Yinlin.
Oh, very nice.
Here's to Franklin and all the heresy that he gives us in this movie.
Yes. To you, Franklin. To you, Paul Partain. Rest in peace.
Yes.
Here's
Also,
to
rest in peace, Jim Cedo.
Here's to no wheelchair ramps in this whole movie.
This was the 70s. We were less PC in the 70s.
Yeah.
When they're at the house, man, he's downstairs, everybody's upstairs. He looks so fucking pathetic. It's like,
The world was
I love when he has
less
this little
handicap
fit.
accessible.
Yeah. Then he says the
might be my
classic line,
favorite
"I'm
part.
having more fun today. I don't know if I can take it."
That might be my favorite part of the whole movie.
Sally! Sally! Look at him.
Now he's picking the dirt out from under his nails with the knife that the hitchhiker slashed his hand open with.
Yeah.
You just got AIDS, Franklin.
This was pre-AIDS too. This was free love.
Yeah.
This was peace, love, dope. The peace, love, dope era.
Well, Sally's cutting the damn barbecue with it.
Oh Lord have mercy. Well, I mean the barbecue's people anyway. So I mean,
Yeah.
why not?
Did anybody ever notice that little look he just gave the barbecue? He was like, wait a minute, something's not quite right there.
He's eating it anyway.
He's like, it's still good, but
Tastes
it's
like
a little
wiener.
different.
I like when they stop and he's got that piece hanging out of his mouth.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's coming
Hanging
up.
out
It's like a
stogie.
cigar.
Yeah, like a stogie.
Yeah.
It's like a
Have you guys
dog
seen-
turd.
And he's like,
Have you guys seen any of the reviews on the Black Maria set they have? That thing looks like shit.
No, I
that
haven't
looks
seen
awful.
For $100?
That looks awful.
Oh
Fucking
man.
shoebox.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is,
I mean, they totally misrepresented the Black Maria edition. They even really misrepresented the 4-disc, 40th anniversary Blu-ray edition, because really it's only 2 discs.
Yeah, it's 2 Blu-rays, 2 DVDs.
I don't know why they still do that either. I mean, god damn, do you not have a Blu-ray player?
Yeah.
Or just, I mean, because you can make, I don't know, whatever.
It just seems
But
like
yeah,
a waste
little
of money.
little misrepresentation there. But yeah, the Black Maria box set, when I saw a video of somebody doing an unboxing of it, and it was awful. It was not.
There it is.
What is that? That's so gross.
It
a
looks
wiener.
like a.
It's got a
It
fucking
almost
mushroom
looks
head.
like
Look.
Hey,
You know
Franklin,
what it looks like.
it's uncircumcised.
It's kosher.
A piece of sausage
This was-
circumcised, Franklin.
This was pre-circumcision days.
Kosher.
Oh.
But even though this has, it's half Blu-ray, half DVD, it's still, to me, I only had a DVD of it that didn't have any special features, so I consider this to be an excellent addition.
I do too.
I'm really happy with the 4-disc.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean I am too. I absolutely am too. I just thought it was a little weird that they called it a 4. Really, there's 4 discs, but really, I mean it's 2. But I can't give them props for that Black Maria edition. That was ridiculous.
No.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, there still are some people that don't have Blu-ray. For some reason, they haven't upgraded, so I guess they still feel obligated to release it on DVD too.
I mean, you can buy a Blu-ray player for less than what this costs.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh,
Daddy
spider.
long legs.
Wow, look how clear that is.
It's awesome.
I know.
You can almost
And
count
for
them if you pause it.
And for so long, I had avoided watching this in HD because I didn't want to see it. There was just something about the grain and it looking bad that I wanted.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I lose it every time.
Poor bastard.
I shouldn't be laughing right now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It is kind of evil to laugh at this part, but
Yeah, I feel bad.
Franklin's a character you just can't help laugh at.
Can
We
you
shut
guys
that-
go?
He
Please?
wiped his mouth off with the bloody rag.
Sally!
I'm not laughing at the fact that he's having trouble in his wheelchair. I'm laughing at the character.
I'm like, me too. I mean, he's just so. And I mean, apparently that's how he really was. Like, people on the set did not like him. They did not like Paul Partey.
Well, he said he was in character. He
Was
said
it-
the only way he could do this role was to be in character at all times, even when after they said cut. So yeah, everybody was actually annoyed by him, and they didn't.
Was
like
he
to hang out
actually
with him.
was he actually crippled?
No,
No.
Or do we? No.
No, he wasn't.
He does a pretty good job making it believable.
Yeah.
He does, yeah.
Here
it comes. Here it comes.
Look at that bottom
Here
lip,
comes.
man. I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing. It's just...
He's just so good. He's so good. You know, he probably spit all over Daniel Pearl and Toby Hooper.
Oh.
Man, I can't imagine why I didn't like him.
Wait
Such a
for
likable
it. Wait for it.
Poor guy.
Poor guy.
Oh.
Oh man.
He is one of the few characters that kind of, aside from Leatherface and the cook, that carried over into the sequel. At least the skeletal remains of his character were in the sequel. Do you guys
That's
remember?
right. Yeah.
He has that touching moment with Dennis Hopper where he's like, "I'm here, brother. I'm here."
Yeah. His little flashlight.
His flashlight's got one last little beam light. Yeah.
And Dennis Hopper goes on a coke rage and is like, "Take it down, take it down."
That's our next commentary, Texas Chainsaw 2.
You
I'm
got
the Lord of the Harvest. That's some new health food bunch.
Yeah. Well, look at this.
That's not creepy at all.
I love the set design in this film, man.
Yes.
Like, it's
Yeah,
gritty, just realistic. Works.
beautiful.
Hey, do any of you guys have a 7.1 surround sound?
Nah.
No.
Nope.
I was just curious. This is 7.1. Just wondering how it sounded.
I've got one of those sound bars.
I got the Cracker Bottom soundbar wannabe.
Robert Burns was the production
I've got
designer.
surround sound, but it's not 7.1.
Yeah.
Robert Burns was the production designer, and he's the one who created all that skeletal stuff that we see, the Leatherface mask, all that. When you see an awesome set, that's
Here, and just go out and collect dead animals off the road and harvest the bones from them. Come back with a new concoction every day. They said he could make
that's what
something out of nothing.
Yeah. That's
Well,
what happened with the
now-
armadillo. At the beginning of the movie, he just went out and found it, taught himself how to taxidermy, and that's how they started the movie.
Yeah, because originally I think it was supposed to be a dead dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, supposed to be a dead dog, but Toby Hooper said that was just too like ghastly. Couldn't do it.
When my buddy and I were down there touring this location where the old house used to be, we were looking for that ravine. We couldn't find it because it had overgrown so much since then. But I'll give a gold coin to anybody that could found the old broken down house. I think it might have been tore down or something, because the only thing we could find was a clearing where the old house used to stand before they moved it.
I think there's a Horror's Hallowed Grounds with Sean Clark on this new one. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he finds. I think he finds the ravine too. I mean,
that's
it
cool.
doesn't look exactly the same, but it's the ravine, and he finds the clearing where the house used to be, and of course, I mean the graveyard, and where the house is now, and the gas station and stuff. So, and the gas station still it's a restaurant too, right?
Yeah, they still barbecue.
Yeah, the gas station's kind of like a little landmark. It's called Bilbo's now. You can Google that and find that pretty easy.
And the lady that worked there said that they'll let you go back in the kitchen and look around, and they'll tell you stories about it, and it seemed pretty nice. And one thing Sean Clark said about the whole set area here is that you better hurry up and go see it, because it's been purchased and it's going to be developed into a housing addition, and it's not going to be
right. When
not
we were
gonna be there
there
anymore.
last September, the Chase Road that goes up to the house, they had developed all the way up to the edge of the Chase Road. No kidding. In some of my pictures, you can see it.
We've got a question from our buddy Boba Fett. He says, shout out to Cola's Gay, Jay the Stingray, and Orc. He wants to know, who is everyone's favorite character and kill not Leatherface, in the series?
Oh, that's a toughie. I'd say
Yeah.
Favorite character is either going to be Franklin or Chop Top. Favorite kill, I'm going to say it's the dude in part 2 that gets his face cut off, and then Leatherface puts it on stretch. I forget his name. What's his name? Damn, I forget.
LG.
LG, yeah, that was a good kill. Cuts his face off. Leatherface puts it on stretch, and then he wakes up and sees that he's been all jacked up, and then he dies. And then she puts his face back on him.
I gotta say, favorite character of the series is Hitchhiker from the original, and favorite kill, I hate to stay on the original, it's probably going to be Franklin Wheelchair Kill. I'm sorry, I just have to go with that.
Yeah, I was gonna have to say the
kinda-
Clint and Franklin's wheelchair kill. Those are my two favorite.
Yeah. Same here.
Well, we definitely got to give some props to the meat hook kill, which is coming up here. I mean, that's one of the kills that you really don't see anything, but you think you see everything.
That's my favorite.
They sold it well.
And this guy's kill where we first see Leatherface, I mean, that's freaking beautiful.
So fucking disturbing.
Yeah.
So disturbing.
That scene is, just like so jarring and shocking, and just so beautifully shot too.
His kill with the steel door and everything, I swear this feels like the first time I see it. Every time I see it, if that makes any sense. I don't know why, but it does.
Yeah.
It gives me that same feeling that I got the first time I watched it.
Because it's not high-tech special effects or sound effects or anything. It's just it works. I don't know how to explain it.
You know, I've seen a few of these 4K restorations, and so far, this is by far the best. I like how they didn't make anything real vivid, because they could have went in and brightened everything up, and like Ghostbusters, they went in and fixed. Ghostbusters looks brilliant, but they've done such a good job.
Yeah, that's what sells it. The legs jiggling.
Yeah, and it's not just the kill; it's the afterwards. It's him jerking around, and then Leatherface throwing him and slamming that steel door. I mean, that's just amazing. Man.
You get that little weird bass sound effect after he slams the door. That really sets the tone.
Here we go.
Here we go.
And this is it. What a beautiful shot. What an amazing shot.
That's my favorite character right there.
And to think, I mean, to think they did it for $60,000, but they still took the time out to artfully shoot those kind of shots. I mean, it's mind blowing.
I like how the camera stops and lets her approach the house. That's pretty cool. That was a pretty cool decision. Of course, they did it because they ran out of dolly track, but it still looked good.
Well, I mean, the overall pacing of this movie is it's like capturing lightning in a bottle. I mean, they just did it right.
Oh yeah.
You imagine what this cast had to put up with, being 100 degrees and.
Well, the family that owned the house was actually living in the house in another part of it while they were shooting the movie. Can you imagine what that was like?
Oh yeah, my God!
3 o'clock in the morning, all the screaming going on. You're trying to sleep.
Yeah. Or could you imagine walking into your living room and it looking like that?
Ripping a chainsaw through the living room.
I mean, think about it.
Your brother did to the door.
That's what I was going to say. It's like 2 a.m. There's Jim Seedow going, "Oh, you coon shits! Look what your brother did to the door."
And one thing they said was funny was it was cheaper. Toby Hooper said it was cheaper to buy real skeletons than to buy fake ones. That there was like he called it a skeleton farm, that all the skeletons came from India, and they all had perfect teeth. So it was the weirdest thing. They came from India, and they all had perfect teeth.
That means
and they were cheaper. Exactly. And they were cheaper than buying a fake one. So they just bought a bunch of real skeletons from India that all had perfect teeth, and there they are.
I need to get a replica couch like that for the man cave.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome, man.
That would be. And again, all this is Robert Burns. All this is Robert Burns.
I wonder how much weed that guy was smoking.
He was probably doing a little acid.
Yeah.
True.
Tons.
I think that's what
It was like, I need inspiration.
So good.
I mean, the movie wouldn't be
It's
what it
so
was without
unsettling.
this stuff right here.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Look at that hand. Did you see that hand coming out of the right there?
Holding the light bulb.
Yeah, the lamp
Yeah.
hand.
You know that shit itches. It's
Oh,
hot.
God,
It's got all,
man.
got all over.
Leatherface's scream right here. God, that used to trip me out as a kid, man.
But I mean, Leatherface. I mean, all Leatherface is doing is he's protecting his home. These are trespassers. These are
Yeah, there's a scene
trespassers in
later
his
in the
home.
film where it shows how freaked out he is because there's so many people in his house. He's like, where the fuck are they coming
Yeah.
from?
Yeah,
Yeah, where are all these damn hippies coming from?
I'm putting you in my sausage.
he's a Republican.
Here we go.
They,
Oh,
Oh,
beautiful.
ooh.
Oh,
she sells it
Sells
pretty
it.
good, too.
Yeah, she sells it, man.
Does. She sells it so well. She
Look at
sells
that.
it so well.
And he's getting
Crank
ready
her up.
to chop up her boyfriend. They don't show anything, but you still get the visceral impact of the scene.
Yeah, crank her up.
She's stuck on a hook in incredible pain and watching him chainsaw her boyfriend to pieces.
Look at that, and it's all off camera too.
Yeah.
see, there's no gore.
So yeah,
You imagine if they'd have done gore on this stuff, what kind of a uproar it would have been? Because I mean, the movie's been banned for years everywhere.
Actually, I
mean,
think
it
it would have lessened the impact and made it a little more cartoonish had they gone full gore on it.
I agree. It was banned in like Britain until the late '80s.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's crazy considering what was coming out in the '80s that they were fine with.
Yeah.
I remember Peter Jackson. I heard somewhere that he had to get like I think an 8mm or 60mm. He had to get like go through a bunch of people because they didn't have it in New Zealand because it was banned for so long, and it still might be to this day. Probably not.
It may actually. It is still banned in some countries.
But he said he got
and
a
I
copy
don't
of
think
it, and he kept watching it over and over. Go ahead.
And I don't think it's necessarily the violence. It's just the tone of the movie. It's a ferocious movie.
Where's my knife, Sally?
Sally, where's my coffee pot? I gotta piss like a
I didn't have it
racehorse.
when I got out of the van.
Look at Franklin being the harbinger there, man, sending everybody to their death. He's like, go down between these two sheds there. Yeah.
Teach you to fuck with me.
Did you think
Look at
was
Marilyn in bell bottoms.
Franklin? The original ending was that Franklin was supposed to stand up from his wheelchair, grab a chainsaw, turn around, and do the dance. He was supposed to be Leatherface in the original ending. I'm just kidding.
That's awesome.
I was like, really?
Isn't it remarkable how clean her pants stay throughout this movie, though?
Yeah. I want this guy's shirt, man. I need that.
Let me tell you, I want the shirt, I want the hair, I want the necklace, I want it all.
I want the
glasses.
glasses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the glasses.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he sells it so well. He's so annoying. I mean, he's just like, God.
No. And Sally's just so, I mean, Marilyn Burns was a looker. She was a looker.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had that natural 70s look to her that was, defined the decade of beautiful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's also really good in Eaten Alive. If you guys have any other questions or comments for us, leave them in the comment section of the video or tweet them at TSF Nation. Is there anything going on in the live chat right now, Orc?
I can't view it because I'm hosting right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's there going, where's Orc? Where's Orc? Where's Orc? Orc, we love you.
Like, that guy's not here. He's not here. Good.
They do really well about pacing the film with the sun. With the sun, they track it throughout the day too, for the nighttime.
And that is so crystal beautiful clear.
Oh yeah, gorgeous. And the soundtrack, the music and the non, musical soundtrack, that was all Tobe Hooper too. He said he did that basically banging pots together. He said he opened up a piano and just did stuff with like the chords and just to create the sound of the film.
Now, this is the scene where Leatherface freaks out because another person has invaded his space.
Exactly, yeah.
Where the fuck are they coming from?
This is another gnarly kill too, man.
Oh yeah.
Man,
When this guy screams.
Yeah.
It's called the Chainsaw Massacre, and he only actually kills one person with a chainsaw.
And of course, this was a movie too that they kind of sold on the auspices that it was based on a true story, that it had really happened. Of course, I mean it is loosely based on Ed Gein, but they kind of tried. They were doing that, many years before the Blair Witch Project was doing.
Oh yeah, that's always been a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like The Exorcist was based on a true story, and
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll still be people argue with you that this is a true story.
Yeah.
This was also the time of Faces of Death in the VHS stores, where if you go back and look, a lot of the stuff on Faces of Death was reenactments. It wasn't real.
yeah.
Right.
Actually, the guy who directed the first Faces of Death is got his own YouTube channel called Two Jews on Film, and him and his wife review movies.
Oh, no kidding.
Really?
That's a great show.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'll have to
here
check
we
that
go.
out.
Got the deep freeze.
This is cool.
Oh, man.
Boom.
Dang.
Hammer kill.
Look at him, man. He's like all upset.
Stop. Hammer time.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys met Gunnar Hansen? Because I mean, he's a
Look at
big
him, man.
dude.
Freaking. Where the fuck are
No,
they
I've
coming
never.
from, man?
He's one that's always got away from me. I've never got to meet him.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Ah, ah.
Ooh.
Where they? Who?
But I mean, really, I mean,
He sits down and has a
Leatherface
little
is-
moment.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like all
yeah.
losing it.
This
here,
is
man.
me when Jehovah's come to my house right now.
I like to answer the door nude when they come.
Like, oh shit.
Orc likes to answer the door and hit him in the head with a hammer really hard.
No
With a
comment.
skin mask, of course.
Look at his
I'd
teeth.
like to know what the set direction was here. If this was like Gunner's deal, or if Tobe Hooper actually wanted him to act like that.
Let me tell you guys my funny Gunnar Hansen weed story that Ed Neal told me at March at
Yeah.
Mad Monster Party. I asked him, I said, Ed, tell me a funny story that happened on the set. And he goes, okay. And of course, he acts out every character in the story. He stands up, he comes around to the front of his table, he just starts acting this out. Apparently, a woman showed up on the set one day with brownies. And Gunnar Hansen, being a big guy who naturally loves brownies, ate the whole damn plate. Well, it turns out they were weed brownies. So Gunnar Hansen started having a really bad trip, and they had to kind of take him away and help him come down before they put the chainsaw back in his hand, because he wasn't doing very well. But he ate the entire plate. Like, the woman came out and said, "Where'd all the brownies go?" And Gunnar was like, "I ate them." And she goes, "Those were weed brownies."
Damn it, Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus.
Jerry.
There's a there's an interview with Ron Bozeman, who was what was he on the movie? He may have been a production designer too, production manager, and he said at the time in Texas, possession of marijuana could result in a lifetime imprisonment, mere possession. So he goes to the sheriff's office to let the sheriff know, hey, we're renting this house, we're shooting this movie. If you hear screaming, if you hear a chainsaw, it's just us out there. If you want to come out and see how we make a movie, come out anytime you want. So he goes to the house, he walks out the back door, and what does he see? A ton of marijuana. So he freaks out. He sees the rest of his life transpiring behind bars, and he's just invited the town sheriff to come to the set whenever he feels like it. Apparently there was weed all over that set. So, which, I mean, of course, I think you can kind of see that.
Now I'm just going to hit the horn again, Sally.
I tell you, it was supposed to be
Sally,
really
they
hot,
took
but
the
it was
keys.
pretty cold there to me.
They took the keys, Sally. They took the keys.
Thinking the same thing, Mike.
Was that set refrigerated? I thought it was supposed to be in the
Too
hundreds.
perv.
Maybe you could have gotten away if you had
Of course,
like
you
a
two
silver
perverts
gold
would look at
wheelchair.
that.
You know?
I'm surprised Ork didn't point that out.
Hey,
You can't see
apologize
it
for
in the
my
non-high
heterosexuality,
definition.
okay?
Look at this.
Be
stunt work.
respectful, Mike.
I am.
Paul
I'm paying
Pertain-
tribute. I respect it greatly.
God bless her. Well, I mean, she was spending a lot of time with him, and I mean, look at him, ladies. You couldn't resist Franklin.
Yeah. That was,
Who
that
wouldn't
was
want
Paul
to ride?
Pertain's
Who wouldn't
stunt
want to
work
ride
right
that
there.
chair?
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
you watch him piss to the coffee can one time, and it's over. Them panties dropping.
they
Cole is
fly
gay.
off.
Join the live chat if you guys want to get in there.
Oh snap! Cole is gay.
Cole is gay.
Paul Pertain knocking the stuffing out that Egg McMuffin.
Ah,
Behind the scenes.
Oh.
Oh, we're coming up on the best kill ever right here.
Yep.
We should all crank our stereos at the same time. Be awesome.
Now the YouTube high sheriffs would have our ass.
Yeah, that's probably true.
you can go ahead and get all your Franklin impressions out, Barry.
Now,
Yeah.
Sally, wait a
Come
minute,
on.
Sally. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Come on, push.
I'm gonna hit the horn. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it one more time.
Oh God.
Sally, they took the keys. Sally, they took the keys.
Hold my Peter. I'm going to pee in this cup.
I have any more fun today? I just don't think I'm gonna be able to take it.
Sally, will you unzip my fly and take out little Franklin? Hold my coffee. Hold my coffee tin. I got to pee real bad.
Hold my barbecue. Oh!
Oh,
Oh!
poor Franklin.
Look, a little bit of blood.
Oh,
there.
there's some spray.
Blood.
Yeah. That kind of shit
Yeah,
you don't see
according-
in VHS.
Oh my
According
God.
to Toby Hooper, that was fake blood that he was spitting on Gunner out of his mouth.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
That was
Him and
phenomenal.
somebody else, maybe
Favorite
Kim
kill.
Hinkle, were spitting the blood out of his mouth.
How many
Awesome.
times have we seen this in a movie?
And she turns up the crazy, too.
Yeah.
Does, yeah. I mean, she was one of the first. Well, I mean, she was the first Survivor girl.
It's like all
Hell of a
these
scream.
where her hair gets stuck in the thorns and stuff. Oh man. That's
Oh
like,
yeah. Well, I mean, she took a bit. They said like the blood on her white pants wasn't stage blood. That was her blood.
Yeah.
But she just got the crap beat out of her.
Oh wow.
She got ripped up running through those.
Oh yeah, and she had to. And when she falls into the, the cook's lair here, she falls on her knees, and she had to do that a million times. So I mean, she was just tore up.
Look at Gunner going to work. Go to work.
The only problem I have with this is that if some huge guy is chasing you with a chainsaw, you're going to know where he's at all times. He's not going to be able to hear you over the chainsaw. So it would be pretty easy to actually kind of slink away from him. Especially if you shut your damn mouth and quit screaming.
Oh. I don't know why that bothers me so much. Her getting stuck in the trees.
Oh, well,
It's unsettling.
because it hurt.
So much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
You see some random person wandering on set randomly, like having no idea what the hell's going on.
Whoa.
And Gunnar Hansen said, with the mask on, I couldn't see anything, and he's running, chasing her with a live chainsaw.
Yeah.
So he couldn't really tell where he was going, or how close he was to her, or what.
I don't see how this place stays in business as a restaurant, man. The house itself, because if anybody saw this movie, man,
Oh
they
man,
didn't,
I'd want to
they
eat there
didn't
every day.
appreciate horror,
Well, I guess on the special features, it's still a restaurant, but I guess it's got new owners, and they really kind of embrace its past, and they really kind of sell it on the fact that it was the chainsaw house.
I mean, otherwise
Right.
it probably would have been torn down.
Yep.
I like the little dog right there in Grandpa's room.
Yeah, Grandma.
Yeah.
Well, Grandma actually shows up again in The Howling. If you look close enough in The Howling, Grandma's in the background.
Oh, cool. Oh. Oh.
Ugh.
Dude.
Even that fall, they said the stunt woman jumped through the window, but she fell from the window. So she did that herself.
That's crazy.
The guy that plays Grandpa, John Dugan, he's like at every convention right now.
Yeah.
See him
I've met
everywhere.
him.
I wonder if a few of the Friday the 13th took that scene from this movie. Like part 3 and part 4, where they like jump out of the window and he
Probably.
stares down. Yeah.
What James was saying about John Dugan, that brings back a memory of Pizzow and I a couple years ago. We were at, Scarefest, and we went over to meet John Dugan. The only thing that was on his table was a bunch of empty beer bottles.
Yeah.
That's killer.
This is like 1 o'clock in the
I seen-
afternoon.
Yeah.
3 sheets to the wind.
Him and at Horror Hound last year in Indianapolis, him and Danny Hicks were sitting there drunk off their ass.
That's killer. Look at this. This chase scene goes on forever, man.
It does.
That's cool. She's losing it. Oh.
Spoiler alert, he runs out of gas.
It wasn't a gas crisis in the Sawyer family. They had plenty of gas for that chainsaw. That's
And
why
the
the cook didn't have no
generators.
gas at the gas station.
Oh, here we go.
cook. There's all that fresh meat back there barbecuing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Barbecue and motor oil, man. Same place.
Calm down, you crazy bitch. Have some of this barbecue. I don't care if it looks like a penis. Just put it in your mouth.
Come here, you nap-haired idiot. Come here.
You nap-haired idiot. Yeah.
Come here.
You nap-haired idiot. Orc is monosyllabic, says Kozuke.
Definition? I don't even. Yeah.
Way over Orc's head there, Cole.
I
Kozuke.
shall return, brethren. I shall return. Nature calls.
Okay. All that meat. My family's always been in meat.
The sadistic glee that Jim plays his character with is just awesome.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Leading up, it's just awesome.
Yes. When he gets the broom out.
He's driving down the road just giggling, poking
Yeah,
her.
just
That's
jabbing
awesome.
her.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah. It's going to be fine now, honey. It'll be fine. Great stuff. Well, I mean, that's one of the things that Toby, I mean, he wanted there to be some humor in the film. But the movie's kind of so grisly that people just didn't really get it at first. And of course, I mean, they said he beat her with that. Like, that was the whole night of shooting, is just him beating her with the broom.
Holy shit. I told you one time I want this place clean. I want it clean.
What are you snacking on there, Jay?
Barbecue.
This L.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Time to
I
reload.
can't get it in Kentucky. I'm on my Schlitz at this point.
Okay.
I can never drink on the show. I always have to go to work afterward, but I'll be on vacation the last week of October. And maybe
cool.
that show before Halloween, I'll have a couple of drinks with you guys.
Ah,
Sweet.
cool, yeah.
Cool. I love
I
that.
haven't
Jim.
had a drink since 1997.
Wow.
Plus, I think Mike and I are an hour behind you guys.
Yeah. I love how Jim Sedal's performance coming up. How he can change on a dime from like ashamed of what he's doing to downright evil at the same.
Sadistic
Yes.
glee.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were talking about that where he's in the scene in the truck where he's just, it's going to be okay, and he pokes her and he's like, That's awesome.
Do that
I
again,
also
Mike.
love how I also love how reassuring he is with her at the end, where he's like, "Now, don't you worry. You won't feel nothing. Grandpa was the best killer there ever was."
Yeah.
Yeah, he almost, I don't know, it's like he's almost ashamed of his behavior, but he's enjoying it at the same time. That's why he's my favorite character. He's got a lot of depth to him.
Yeah, mark of a true psychotic.
You can see it starting to take over.
I like what they Look at him.
I hope you're not too uncomfortable down there.
That's awesome.
No doubt.
You almost get the feeling like
Don't you worry.
he does this every Saturday night or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to keep that. You got to keep that barbecue stocked.
Tenderize the meat.
Yeah.
He's
People from miles around come for that barbecue, no matter what it looks like, circumcised or not. It's good.
Oh, I love it here.
Franklin will fetch a.
Go ahead.
Oh my God, Franklin will keep them in business for months.
He starts going ape shit on the hitchhiker here. It's funny as hell.
Oh my God,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Curry, you nut-beer idiot.
There's a story that Ed always tells about that where it was supposed to be a piece of balsa wood, but the person on set handed him the wrong. It was actually a real piece of wood, and I guess he really beat the shit out of him with it.
Oh, look
Play
at
with the dead fucking. I'm paying a
Play with a dead squirrel. Is that a possum or a squirrel?
I don't know.
Awesome ferret.
Could be a ferret.
Because it kind of did look like that.
Oh, God. He was in that graveyard again.
And that's a hell of a pothole right there.
Yeah. There's a lot of potholes on this road.
Okay, I'm going to ask the dumbest question in history that I should know the answer to, but I don't. Is the hitchhiker, the cook, and Leatherface brothers, or is the cook the uncle, or how does that break down?
That's a good question, and honestly, they don't seem to have an answer for it. You've got this family of three men, but like they don't really say what their
Don't they at one time
relationship.
mention they call the hitchhiker and Leatherface brother? Go help your brother or something.
Yeah. They're brothers. Yeah,
But I
They
don't know what the cook
they
is.
don't say, yeah, like where's your? I think maybe
your
the
brother
cook was
did to the
supposed
door.
to be. Yeah, see, I've heard them refer to the cook as like an older brother, or maybe even the father. But then like, where's the mother? And we know where Grandma and Grandpa is upstairs.
Look at Leatherface here.
But see, Leatherface assumes that role when needed. He's like, he's the cook. He stays home all day. He cleans. He cooks.
He's the mother.
Yeah.
That's one thing I really actually there's a ton of things I hated about the Texas Chainsaw 3D, but at the beginning when all those Hewitts start showing up, like they come out of the woodwork.
Oh, there's like 100 of them.
Yeah.
I thought you was in a hurry.
Anybody ever notice Franklin's wheelchair back there?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's pointing at it.
Yeah. They got a meat grinder on the table there.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
You ruined the door.
Hello.
This was the inspiration for Mrs. Doubtfire. Not many people know that.
Right. Exactly.
So not only did it impact 4 decades of horror movies, also Mrs. Doubtfire.
Turn up the crazy, Robin. Turn up the crazy.
Go get Grandpa, you nap-haired idiot.
That place right there in front of where Sally is sitting is where I had lunch in the restaurant.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
That shit is crazy,
I'm gonna
man.
have to make a pilgrimage. I'm gonna have to make a pilgrimage there. I
Uh,
need to
Oh,
make a
man,
Do they
pilgrimage
have-
there, and to the oh crap, what's the mall in Pennsylvania where Dawn of the Dead was filmed, or in Pittsburgh where Dawn of the Dead was
Monroeville?
filmed?
Monroeville
Monroeville,
Mall.
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, I want to
Hugo,
make
when
a
you get ready,
pilgrimage there too.
yeah, whenever you get ready to make the pilgrimage to Monroeville, look me up, brother. I'll meet you up there or something.
Cool.
No kidding.
Cool.
Does this
You can
restaurant
also-
have Texas Chainsaw themed food?
No,
Did they have posters or anything on the wall from
the
Chainsaw?
only thing they had when Gunner came out to do the interviews for the Gold Edition Blu-ray DVD thing, he did an autograph photo. One of his kind of I don't know if it was like an 8x12 or something. They got it hanging behind the bar upstairs.
Oh,
They don't really advertise it. They got it on a placard out front, but they don't want to scare like the old folks away and stuff like that. So
right.
Have they redesigned the whole place?
they redesigned the upstairs portion just a little bit where Grandpa's room is. They kind of opened it up a little bit so they could have like a bar area. But the top of the stairs there is still basically the same where her window was where she jumped out earlier. And it's pretty quaint upstairs. Grandpa's room is not as big as it looks in the movie because I think they used a certain lens. But they made it like a real swanky sitting area where you can sit and drink your drinks and stuff.
And the part with the steel door was never actually part of the house. That was a facade that they built for the movie.
Right. If you look closely, it's kind of built up from the back portion where the kitchen is.
Hmm.
And that red thing that's got the bones all on it, that was covering up a door, I believe.
Right. Right.
There's a door behind it.
But the bone room is just another sitting area in the restaurant up front where the bay window is. Freakiest part was the kitchen, man, because it's still a kitchen. Oh, Grandpa.
This is so bizarre.
Huh.
The whole time you're like, this dude's dead, right? He's dead.
Has anybody ever noticed Gunner kissing Grandpa on the head right there before he cuts his fingers?
Just this is the first time I think I ever did.
I've never noticed that before.
That
And
cut,
all the times
that
I've
cut
seen
was a real cut. I mean,
gotta
that's not
be.
a fake cut.
It's gotta
it.
be
Oh,
really
real.
look
cut
at
it.
that. Ooh.
John Dugan sucking the blood out.
Yeah.
The youngest guy in the movie looks the oldest.
Exactly.
And I guess that makeup was done by a plastic surgeon. It was made out of dental acrylic.
Look at
Yeah.
that. He's
Brush the
happy.
dust off of Grandpa. He's alive.
Look at him, he's like a little baby sucking on a teat.
He's the best killer there ever was. There's an awesome line where Grandpa says, "He'd have killed 100 if the hook and pull gang hadn't gave out," or something like that. It's hilarious.
Yeah, man, the sequel. We got to do the sequel one day because it's got a ton of good one-liners in it.
Oh my God, yeah.
Shit, we could do it right after this if y'all want.
The Sawyers are number one again. Number one. Ah. Ugh.
And you know, so much has been said about this dinner scene. The fact that they, you know, they blacked out the windows and it was 100 degrees, and they shot for, you know, like 2 straight days, and all the dead animals and meat inside started to turn, and it was just a miserable experience.
And the fact that they never washed Leatherface's costume.
Yes. They said Gunner was pretty ripe.
I always loved how they set her a plate. They were nice. They set her a plate, but she can't actually
They did. Yeah,
enjoy.
they were convivial. They were convivial hosts.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever heard did Gunner stay in character the whole time?
Not really hurt.
The only one I heard was Franklin.
Yeah, I've heard that somewhere along the way. He would kind of distance himself
Yeah.
from the rest of the cast.
Something about that's so creepy where the hitchhiker's just running his hand over her face. It's just so
Because you definitely don't want to know where that guy's hands have been.
Exactly.
And I mean, she's kind of. It seems like it seems like she's pleading to the cook because he's like he's the less psychotic of the bunch. So he's the one she's pleading to.
It's like the cook is always teetering on reality and non-reality at the same time. Yeah.
He's the only conflicted character.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why he's killed.
I remember when I was watching this when I was a kid, I was sitting Indian style with my cousins, and long story short, my mother walked in when they're all howling at the first of this dinner scene. She thought this was like she was like, oh my God, I haven't seen this since we saw it at the drive-in with your father. What are you watching this for? Look at that.
You can see he's kind of.
I love the cameras in this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Those colors are popping there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Green eyes.
Here's to Jim Seedale. What a beautiful man. What a beautiful man.
Oh yes, what a beautiful man.
Look at these scenes, man. These scenes.
Wow.
He's like, oh, what the hell? I'm just gonna go full crazy. What the hell?
Yeah, he's like loving it and feeling guilty at the exact same time.
He had that last hand. He just pushed all the chips in. He was just like, I'm going all in, man.
Exactly. He's like, all in.
All in.
All in crazy.
Ugh.
Last part to this movie is so epic. I love watching it every single time.
He finally excuses himself from the room because he just can't take it. That's why he distanced himself, but he calls himself the cook. He doesn't do this stuff.
Yeah. Right.
That's how he lives with himself, I guess.
Another thing I've always loved about this movie is it's like a building movie. It's like it just builds and builds and builds, and it gets more and more tense and tense and tense, and then it just ends the way it ends on a dime. I've always loved that about it.
It's so chaotic.
Yeah, it starts out normal, and then the crazy meter just finally by the end it's pinned.
Yes.
All these jump cuts on Sally's face, man. Oh.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Don't you worry, Grandpa's the best killer there ever was.
Like that was going to make her feel better or something, man. It's going to be okay.
You won't feel nothing. One whack and you're gone. You won't feel a thing, honey.
It did 60 in 5 minutes once.
The bee's out of the way fast enough, that's it, yeah. The bee's out of the way. And then like how they rejoice when Grandpa's trying to hit her, but he's just like so decrepit, he can't really do it, and they're all just howling and loving it.
He keeps dropping the hammer, and Leatherface hands it back to him.
Right. I love the parts where
they're closing his fingers around it.
Yeah. The cook's trying to join in, but he doesn't want to see it, but he's so jovial at the same time.
Well, Ed told a story about how this scene, they couldn't stop laughing because it was a rubber hammer. And the sound it made when they'd hit her with it was just so comical that they couldn't stop laughing.
The cook's hanging in the back there.
He's hiding behind the wall.
Oh, God.
He just keeps dropping it.
Grandpa looks like James Woods. You ever notice that?
He does a little bit.
Oh, I've never noticed that. He does. He looks like James Woods.
Oh.
Hit him with the hammer, Grandpa. This hammer?
What a noob.
Get her, Grandpa.
Come
Oh,
on.
Kill it, Grandpa. Kill it.
Grandpa. Grandpa. Grandpa.
oh.
Dancing around in the background.
Oh, look at him. Look at him back there.
Oh.
Oh.
Hit her, hit her, hit her.
Oh, here we go.
From this part on, it's just like so epic.
Yes.
Look at the camera movement. Camera movement's
Oh,
awesome.
I know.
You guys
So
remember the
beautiful.
first time watching this part up until the end?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it was like I said, first time I saw this, it was a revelation,
Hell, I'm tense right now, man. Look at the hairs on my arm. Look. I'm kidding, man. I'm tense right now.
I remember I was like, I stood up from the couch and I was like, fucking run! Go, go, go!
Look at him skip.
Yeah.
He's so crazy he can't even run right.
Look at that. Hey, if I ever get to meet Ed Neal, I'm going to have him reenact that. That's what I want him to
Oh my
reenact.
God. He do it.
Have him
Probably
chase
do
you
it.
down the hallway.
Yeah.
Just cut
Yeah.
the shit out of her with that straight razor.
There's the end chase road right there. Yeah.
Here comes
Oh,
Black
dude,
Maria.
Black Maria. Here
Yep.
we go.
Here,
Wait
here he
for it.
comes.
Wait for it. Oh!
Bam.
Oh! I hear this guy's doing conventions now too. The
Yeah.
guy that's driving.
Yeah, I was
cool.
going to say even this guy's doing conventions.
This is
That's a
fucking
big
hilarious.
motherfucker.
But you watch the
Dog,
end of
hey,
the
fuck
scene,
that.
the
He's like, fuck that shit.
picks up Sally, and then the black guy runs in the opposite direction. He's
Yeah.
still running.
Yeah,
Leatherface is out there doing
Yeah,
his
that's what I was
dance. The
gonna
black
say.
dude's still running.
that's what I was going to say. Whatever happened to the black guy? The black guy just ran
Yeah.
away.
Let
Yeah.
that shit
His
is
truck,
dry.
he's ran.
Look at him.
Run, bitch.
He's like, he's like, hell with this. Look at this shit. Watch it. Bam.
That guy's as big
Bam.
as Gunner.
You can dodge. You can dodge
Why
the
didn't
rock.
you
Oh,
on him right
Dodge the
yeah.
ball.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
He could have right there. He had his moment. His shot was open.
I always thought Sally was.
Look at
gonna
him. He
hit
just
by
keeps
the truck.
running. He's like, fuck this.
Yeah, he's still running. He's still running to this day.
He's like, that damn company don't pay me enough for this shit. I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
Doesn't even try to get in the pickup. He just keeps going.
He's like, these white people crazy.
That's the last time I come through here.
He's like, fuck Texas.
Yeah. Don't go to Texas, man. They'll screw you up. Don't go
They
to Texas.
warned me about Texas, and they's right. This place crazy.
I'm down here driving a hog truck. Got chainsaws after me. I'm out of here.
Makes you wonder if he even bothered to come back for his truck.
Hell no. Please no.
God, that sounds good.
Look at that. Yeah. Listen, hey, listen to the chainsaw here. Next scene.
Oh yeah. Damn.
Oh, my
Look
God.
at that.
Oh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. Oh man.
Oh man, I got cold chills.
Did it just end? Just ends, yeah. God, it's so
That was
good. So good.
Golf clap.
Excellent.
Golf clap.
Definitely in my top 10 of all
Oh
time.
man. Yes, yes.
It's like number
What
3
a
for
film.
me.
Man.
Here's the
What a film.
TCM 40th anniversary, guys. 40th
Yes.
anniversary. Clink.
Yes. Yes. Happy birthday, TCM.
Happy birthday, TCM.
It's a piece, Marilyn
Yeah.
Burns.
Yes, rest in peace, Marilyn Burns, Paul Partain, Jim
Yep.
Sedow, Robert Burns,
LG. All of them.
LG. Yes, yes. Oh, Lord. What a great film. And, of
Man.
course, the film was sold to the Mafia, and everybody associated with it got ripped
Yeah.
off. So,
Here's to the mafia. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
I think they
The
eventually
real
sued
mass-
and got a little bit of a settlement, but not what they were really owed.
yeah. And they'll never know how much money this movie really made because the books were cooked. So I mean, there'll never be a true tally of how much money the film's made.
Okay,
Yeah.
trivia. Where is the guy at the first of the film that was saying, "You laugh at an old man," and he's laying in the tire? That's the guy I want to see at a convention right there.
The drunk guy at the cemetery.
Yeah, you laugh
Yes.
at an old man.
He was about
An old
100 in 1974. So.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably
So
gone.
Long gone.
He's probably
We've-
gone.
We've lost him. We've lost him.
Dang,
We've
man.
lost him.
Good times, man. Good times.
Excellent.
What a film. What a film. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 40 years old. Thanks so much, you guys, for hanging out with us tonight, for taking in the film. Before we do our final thoughts, I just want to mention again that this special live commentary is brought to you guys by Phoenix FearCon 6. Phoenix FearCon is Arizona's largest horror convention and film festival for 6 years running. It all goes down November 1st and 2nd. Go to phoenixfearcon.com. Discount tickets are available there now, phoenixfearcon.com. And our friends over at Horror Block, go check them out. Link in the description below. Promo code in the description below for a 10% off discount for your subscription to Horror Block. Every month you will receive a box full of awesome horror goodies in the mail. Go check them out. Links in the description. So you guys, final thoughts on the immortal Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Man, never gets old, man. No matter how many times I see it, it's like watching it for the first time, especially since it's now this 4K transfer. But yeah, it's just such an iconic piece of art. It's not even film, just art.
There's just so many
exactly.
classic scenes, so many classic characters. I mean, it's just it deserves all the accolades it's ever received. It's just a classic.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, there's a print of the film in the Museum of Modern Art, so I mean that tells you a lot.
And considering Tobe Hooper was just barely out of film school, and all these guys were just amateurs, I mean, lightning in a
That's what I
bottle.
was going to say. It's really impressive that they're all so young, and they're able to do this. You know.
Yeah, it truly was lightning in a bottle. Truly, I mean that's a film that I mean, like I was saying, it's probably, forget about horror. I mean, it's probably just one of the most influential films ever. I mean, there's 4 decades of movies have borrowed something from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I think we may have talked about this in our slasher megasode, but let's reiterate it just a little bit, because the argument seems to be between Psycho and Chainsaw as to which is the first, at least contemporary slasher movie. And I give Psycho all the credit in the world. Psycho turned the corner from Gothic horror, Dracula, Frankenstein, to the horror of the guy living next door to you in the suburbs. But I mean, I think Chainsaw created the archetype. It set the standard that's been copied for 4 decades.
Well, there was another film that
That's
came
my
out.
personal thoughts.
There's another film that came out the same year, Black Christmas, which I would probably give a little bit more of a nod to as an actual slasher film. This is more. I think Chainsaw started the crazy hillbilly cannibal subgenre. The Hills Have Eyes and the stuff like that. But it's definitely up there. I mean, I can't consider Chainsaw to be an actual slasher film. I mean, only one person's killed with a chainsaw. 2 people are killed with a hammer. Nobody's really stabbed.
Yeah.
Nobody's really slashed. I mean,
Another thing that takes away from that part is the fact that they go to them. It's not actually anybody pursuing these kids. It's all the kids go to the house.
and it's like we pointed out earlier, Leatherface is actually upset that his space has been invaded. He's almost like defending his territory.
Right.
And another film
I look at it like, and I give a lot of credit to Black Christmas too. I mean, Black Christmas definitely. But I look at Chainsaw and I look at the cast. You've got a young cast. You've got a survivor girl at the end. You've got a killer with a mask on. You've got a killer with a trademark weapon. And I just look at that. And even the final chase scene. The way that the kids are picked off one by one. I mean, to me, and in some circles, calling it a slasher movie, maybe even considered besmirching it, calling it a slasher movie. But I just look at those elements and I think, those are the elements that we see in Halloween and Friday and all those films. I mean, you can make the argument either way. I think you can't go wrong really talking about Psycho or Black Christmas, really, to be honest.
When I think slasher film, I think, Black Christmas, Halloween, Psycho, Friday the 13th, kind of stuff like that. When I think Chainsaw, I think a movie that kind of aped it was Motel Hell. That wasn't really a slasher film. That was, again, where they made the meat out of humans, and there was a chainsaw in it. But I could see it does have the archetype. It does have the elements of a slasher film. But I just feel that it's above that a little bit, actually. Like you said, it's almost an insult to call Chainsaw a slasher film. There's so much more going on in it.
Right. What do you think, Barry?
Well, I think if you're trying to differentiate between slasher and whatever Chainsaw is to a slasher genre, it's like they had Psycho that kind of came out, kind of made the mold, and then you took Chainsaw. Chainsaw, at its heart, it has slasher elements, but it's so much more, like you guys have already said, where it's like Psycho times 100. It's like Psycho got a shot of cocaine and just went to the balls to the wall. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Because it's based on similar story matter of Ed Gein and the whole background. We all know that. But at the end of the day, Texas Chainsaw, like James was saying, really, it's a work of art. It's like moving, living art. And it's one of those deals where they just really captured lightning in a bottle. And I think that's to Toby Cooper's credit, but it's also his curse at the same time, where you notice how he made a lot of good films after that, but at the same time, everybody always puts that on his DVDs nowadays. I'm the director of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm like, the guy has done tons of other stuff, but that's the mark of a true classic. You said it yourself, Denzel. It's in the Modern Art Museum, and it's just one of those films that's going to live on. This 40th anniversary Blu-ray is a testament, and all of us guys sitting here watching this and having a good time is a testament to why this is a good film, because it's living on. It's taken on a life of its own over time. And that's just where I think it's a slasher times 100. It's what it is. It's got so much more going on, but it's one of those deals where it really has a lot more to offer. It's just balls to the wall crazy.
Right. Well, and I mean, can you think of any movie that's been released in the past 2 decades that 40 years from now people like us will be talking about with such reverence as we're talking about with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
No.
It's going to be tough.
It's like Gene Simmons brought up the thing about Rock is Dead. He said, if you look back before 1980, you could name 50 bands that everybody knows. The Doors, Jimi Hendrix, Kid. Name 5 in the last 20.
Yeah.
It's like the last 20, 30 years have been almost devoid of creativity. Since Nirvana, has there been a band that really stands out that everybody knows? Maybe Pantera in the metal community, but that's about it.
All I can think of is Silence of the Lambs.
And that goes back to the early 90s. Silence of the Lambs. That's what, 92?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that says a lot about what when we look at the classic horror movies, the ones that just get us, put us on our, we get on a pedestal about and preach about. There are movies that are all 40, 30, 20 years old. I mean, what's the last movie that was released horror movie that we just really championed? And I mean, there's been a lot of good ones, but I don't think there's not been very many great ones.
Somebody might say
the good ones are held to such high regard nowadays because they're so far and few between. I think we give them a little bit more praise than they need. Like The Conjuring, everybody went nuts with that movie, but when you look at it and you compare it to films, it's not even fair to compare it to Texas Chainsaw, but stuff from the 80s and stuff like that, it's a piece of shit compared to these kind of movies. But it's all we have. So
yeah, it's like if you're a starving man, tuna fish is going to taste like caviar. You know what I mean? So,
and I was listening to Dead Pit the other day, and they were talking about how it's October, there's no horror movies coming out. Annabelle was it. Annabelle was a fucking piece of shit. That movie was like a made up story about a doll for a true story for The Conjuring.
Right.
It wasn't even needed.
I actually went and watched Annabelle today, as a matter of fact, before the show.
I was bored.
But yeah, I mean, what else is coming out this month? I mean, Ouija.
Nothing.
And that looked. I mean, that trailer doesn't look great to me.
No.
I think that Talent Dreaded Sundown's getting some kind of limited release this month.
I think it's going straight to DVD. I think.
You guys remember what I said about that? I said it's going straight to DVD.
Yeah.
That is very well might.
I believed you after it didn't have Paranormal Activity or Saw in the title. I knew it. You're right.
It isn't like it's a sequel even. It's not even a remake. It's like what happened.
I'm not
after.
even sure. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the nobody wants to take a chance on anything. The studios.
Right.
Yeah, unless it has like a guaranteed big weekend in front of it, they're not going to put money into it.
Exactly.
Horror's pretty much dead. Horror's dead. It's just.
Think about it this way: a movie like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a movie like Halloween, even a movie like The Exorcist, would not be made today.
No.
Those movies wouldn't be made. They'd be made totally independently, and we'd be lucky if we heard about them on DVD, or we may never hear about them at all. But those movies like that would never be made today.
There's so many more movies now than there were.
Yeah.
They're all on VOD or on Netflix streaming or something that you have to pick and choose, and a lot of those are really good. I think we can sit here and say it all sucks, but there is good stuff out there.
Thank God for Scream Factory though, man. I know their prices are a little high, but they have sales and stuff like that. But man, they're bringing out so much good stuff. Yeah. There's no way to keep up with that.
And you make a good point, Jason. There is good stuff out there. You've just got to search to find it.
Got to wade through a lot of shit.
Yeah, there's just so much of it. It's hard to find the good stuff.
Yeah.
Like
you've got to wade through.
What a fucking.
You've got to wade through a lot of crap, and B, the really good ones are few and far between.
But I mean, now anybody can make a movie with their digital camera. So.
Right, that's what I was going to say, is think about it this way, guys. Back in the 70s, 74, this was made a year before I was even born. That's the mark of a good film, is that if kids from another generation can pick it up and say, damn, this is a good film. But the market is so flooded nowadays with so much stuff that you can make cheaply with a cheap camera. It's like Jason said, you've got a mine. You're down in the mines. You're trying to mill out what's good and what's bad, and you can't. It takes more work to find something good now.
Problem be though is a lot of people like the original Alien and Texas Chainsaw. You hear a lot of kids that were born in the 80s and 90s. They'll say those films are slow and boring and nothing happens. Right. And they've been so traumatized by the fucking MTV editing that they can't actually sit down and pay attention to a story anymore without shit flying at the screen at them. And it's really sad. Maybe these movies will never be made again because there's no audience for it.
Mike, this just in. I apologize for my generation.
Real talk.
Real talk. Most of us have a attention span of a gnat on speed or something. It's just.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean that's true, because I think like my local theater on Halloween night is going to play the original Halloween, and I'm interested to see. That's going to be probably. There'll probably be a spattering of teens in there, but that'll probably be mostly adults.
Old guys like me.
Because, yeah. Or even like the teens that go watch it that have never seen it, or they've seen Rob Zombie's remake, they're going to sit through a half an hour of it and go, this is boring, there's nothing happening. Then they'll get up and walk out.
Yeah, they did that with us last year, and there was maybe 20 people in there. And they played it, and afterwards they played that Boogeyman documentary. Man, I stayed through the whole thing. I loved seeing it on the big screen.
Like a couple of you guys said about this film, it's pacing, and I think that's what makes a really good horror film. Is it's got to be a build to that tension. You know, if you just hit the ground running like, you know, say Rob Zombie does, you know, with his crap, it just I don't know. I guess the younger generation can't appreciate a good filmmaking.
You know, that's the common thing I hear. The common complaint about old films: nothing happens till the last half hour. Well, there's a point to that.
Yeah.
It's called character development, story development. You know, shit that's important to the movie. If you just want to have a hand puppet come out and scream at you for an hour and a half, well, that's fine. Some people find that entertaining, but there needs to be characters and story and dialogue and other things building up to that. It's like this movie, we talked about how it starts out normal, just regular people in a van driving along, and then all of a sudden it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier until it's, you know, the needle's pinned.
Well, like a lot of these big blockbusters, you know, made for these people with ADD, like they bore the shit out of me. Just like nonstop explosions, that, you know, puts me to sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Strobe lights and loud noises.
Orcs Generations. Those are all Orcs' favorite movies. Yeah.
I need Jessica Biel and, you know, fast editing. That's what I need. Yeah.
The Michael Bay generation.
Produce a bunch of these remake horror movies and fuck the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Just fat in their pockets.
Yeah.
The Michael Bay generation. Well, does anybody have anything that they'd like to add before we
let's not end on that sad note. Somebody say something positive.
I'm just glad that Toby Hooper was in a Sears and the mall was crowded when he got the idea to make this movie. From what I heard.
Yes.
From what I've heard, anyway. Yeah.
Yep. Crowded mall, people closing in on him. He finds himself standing in front of a display of chainsaws, and he thought to himself, "I know how I could get out of here in a hurry." And then Chainsaw was born. Chainsaw was born. So, yeah.
I would just like to say to any modern young filmmaker that's thinking about jumping into business, go watch these older films. Pay attention to what makes them so good. It's not just Leatherface and the chainsaw. It's everything. It's the characters. It's the cook. It's the hitchhiker. It's Franklin. You know, it's everything all together. It's the build-up, the story.
Just like B. Jr. said, there's a reason this movie has a 40th anniversary edition. It's, you know, you see movies like that, like 75th anniversary of Wizard of Oz just passed. 40th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw. It's not because they're slow, shitty movies.
Well, and we all bought it, too. We own 10 copies, and we all bought the new one.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Well, in 5 years, we'll be doing the 40th anniversary of Halloween.
Except for Orc. So. Yeah, but.
Oh, sorry, I was just closing my Netflix tab.
Orc's been saving up all year for Black Friday. He abandons his own favorite moniker of YOLO.
People say they have updates on YouTube with their movie channels. You don't even know what that's going to be like come Black Friday this year, man. I don't even know, son.
Your new hashtag shouldn't be YOLO. It should be saving for a rainy day, or, you know, investing.
I don't want to see your fucking voodoo collection on Black Friday.
Oh, no, wait, I'm not CK. Oh, shots fired. Oh, shit, son.
Hey, dude, do you want me to send you the DVDs out of here? Because I don't need them. I'll send you these DVDs out of here.
Yeah, shit. Send them the DVD.
No. Real talk, though. I love Dead Pit, man. I apologize. I messed up.
Well, let's, on a happy note, why don't we end on a happy note and tell everybody that next week we're going to be talking about werewolf movies. You guys have asked us for a werewolf show for going on 3 seasons, and we're finally bringing you werewolf movies. So that's something to look forward to next week, October, what is it, the 16th? Yes, the 16th.
Sure.
We'll be here on the 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live to discuss werewolf movies. You guys wanted it. You guys have got it. It is the Sausage Factory October Halloween season spectacular rolling on. And thanks all you guys out there for joining us tonight watching the awesome Texas Chainsaw Massacre with us celebrating its 40th anniversary. And until next week.
A Sausage Factory birthday to celebrate this week?
Do we?
I thought somebody's birthday was today. It's either this week or next week.
Mine's tomorrow.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
I knew one of us had a birthday coming up. Because mine's a week from
Hey.
Sunday, and Jay's is tomorrow, and we got some birthdays going on.
I'll be
Happy
25.
birthday, Jay.
25.
Yeah. Everybody out there,
25.
Sausage Factory Nation, wish Jay Stingray a happy 25th birthday. And then I think, what is it, the week after that, it's going to be your birthday, Mike?
A week from Sunday, yep. I'll be 26.
26. You guys are getting up
I was
there.
20.
You guys are getting up. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week on the 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live as we discuss our favorite werewolf movies and probably discuss why there's so few good werewolf movies out there. So until then, we'll see you guys later. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Long way.
Okay, if you guys have any extra voodoo codes that you get with the various movies you buy, email them to the Sausage Factory website, which Piz will let you know what that is on Facebook. Peace out. There you go.
Send all your voodoo codes to Orc, is what he's saying. Give me all your voodoo and UV codes. He needs
Yes,
them
I'm
badly.
very low on toilet paper. Send me some too. Long live
anyway.
Texas Chainsaw.
Shameless sword.
Yes. Yes. Long live
Here's
Texas
to the
Chainsaw
50th
Massacre.
anniversary.
Hell yeah.
Chainsaw.
If you don't got it, get it. It's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, until next week, guys, y'all have a good one. We'll see you on the 16th for werewolf movies. Later.
Later.
Hi, guys. Take care.
Ah.